Hi everyone, so we have now modelled up our house to the point where it's now ready at plate height and we can actually take some quants off. So what we're going to do is I'll show you how to select all of these entities, create your quants file, then we'll jump over to Truth Engine, import that file, and then review the quants. So I like to generally just go straight to this takeoff view whenever I need to do a quants takeoff, and turns everything on that we need. Have a quick look at that in 3D. Looking pretty good. And at this point, I just go Control A to select all. You go to Truth Engine, create quants file. And if you remember, this prompt comes up, so we don't want to preview it. We want to create a quants file, so you press No. We'll actually refresh every object before it sends the quants, just to make sure everything is 100% ready to go. It'll take a little while, and that's it, it's finished. So I'll stop recording and I will jump over to Truth Engine and see you there. Okay, so we are in Truth Engine now, and this is our template company, and we are in the estimating config app, and we're on the recipes tab. So you can see here I have a takeoff class, and underneath that takeoff class I have a load test class. So what I'm going to do is now create a recipe inside this class and then load the quants. So we can just go plus, I will call it tree. I think the model is called too. And save that. Okay, and then we can expand out that recipe, and to load up those quants we've just created, which is in a CSV file, we can use upload and browse that file, and you can see this one I've just created, and there's our actual drawing. I mentioned in a previous video, it creates a CSV file in the same location as a drawing with the same name. We can go open. We can delete existing lines if they exist, but this is a brand new recipe, so it is already empty, and we'll go load. And that's done. That's quick. So there, all that data entry has been done for you. So let's have a look at what it has actually loaded up. So here's our one course face. That's that feature wall at the front. Our one course face surface. That's going to be our brick clean that we need. We've got the two course face. So it's worked out 120 squares of normal two course face, and it's worked out any solids we need as a millimeter length. That will be coming from the zero lot wall, and windows were required. We have a two course face, two course head recipe. So if it thinks that the window needs a two course finishing brick, it will send that recipe. It's worked out the sills, so that will be a solid tier sills. Here's your head, which is just a one course head, any one course blocks. So if the walls are odd course, it will send a linear meter of that recipe with one course blocks. And if we actually go inside this recipe, you can see there it's ordering 4 one course blocks per linear meter. Okay, then we can go down to a door frame. So it's ordered a 620 WC and a 720 WC. There's our 820. So we've got 3 of our left hand and 2 of our right hands. So as long as you model correctly, you don't think about it, it will order it for you. Here's our plaster, 383 square meters of plaster. Sounds about right. There's the paint that goes with it. You can see there's a difference there because we pay through the openings for plaster but not paint. There's our render to the front. I send a window area recipe. It's generally empty, but if you like to, you could put in there window cleaning inside the recipe if you do pay for that in your business. Here's our cavity, so that's going to give us our cavity ties in the main cavity, and these are from our actual cavity tie recipes from attached beers. So when the cavity is 10 mils, you generally get that recipe. Okay, CAD created. Now this is a good point. So if you create a recipe that doesn't exist in the system, it will create a recipe for you with that name and put it in the CAD created class. So you can come and review this and go, oh, okay, I actually do need that. And I can add quantities. As you can see, they're all zero valued quantities because nothing has been entered into them. So for example, I would sort out this solid door. I can go to that recipe now and add the solid door price per item. I can sort out my T-bar. I have a house area and house perimeter recipe, which I haven't populated yet, and a two-course face, two-course door sill. So that will let me work out the trafficable sills. So nothing gets missed. So if you create a recipe, it doesn't exist in your system yet, it creates one inside CAD Creative, and then you can go and sort that out. And then you can move that recipe into one of those other classes as need be. Okay, here's our concrete. So we've got the concrete slab, and our waste allowance, your footing, our mesh, footing mesh, a concrete slab with the actual mesh. So depending on how you operate, you can either use that recipe and not use that one and that one, or you can use those two and not use that one. So in your business, you might want to leave this one with nothing in it, which that's what I've done there. But I'm finding quite a few companies just like to have a metre squared of concrete slab with the mesh. That's how it's ordered, and you can put your quantities in there. So it's either that one or these two to get your quants right. Pier starter and wrencher bars. Here's your single external frame, entry frame. Here's your doors. You haven't populated that recipe yet. Here's your door furniture. See your passage sets, dummy sets and privacy sets. Weather seals. Those job settings, so that's coming from a job setting object. So we'll send one of those. Miscellaneous items, so you can see the delivery items recipe I have created and populated. And site classification recipe, which has nothing in it in this case. Okay, here's your lintels. So here's your base plates and your column items. Got your lugs to your T-bar, your painting to externals, paint to T-bar. Here's your model I can cut from your corner lintel. There's that windpipe that we added to the drawing. Mouldings, this comes through as default, which I'll get to this later in later videos, but we can ignore that section for now. Here's our rope doors, to 4 at 2 by 1.2. Here's our post corner brackets coming from the posts at the rear of the house. So there's two of those, there's two post starters, and we're going to paint two posts. There's a niche area. I just need to get area through again, but I have nothing in it. Here's the entry door. Here's our rendered external vertically cored bricks to 9 square metres. And any long reach or one course blocks that goes with that. Here's our internal blockwork. Here's our one course blocks that go with those walls. Here's any heads to windows and sills. So if it decides it needs a one course block to a sill, it'll work that out for you. Okay, now down to lintels. So as you can see, these have actually come in as price book items or recipes. When it's a sized item, it uses the recipe we've created to just pass through and get the size. So you'll find that it's actually gone straight to a price book item, and we can look at our cutting list. And there we go. So if we actually just go to this recipe that is passed through, and I'll show you how that works. We use that concept for anything that is a cutting list item. So if we jump over to littles, I'll look at the 75 by 75 by 6 gulf. So that's the actual recipe. It's created from Vectorworks, but it passes through and gets this price book item and applies a size to that price book item. So that's how that works. So we did put in a cutting list of just one by one, and I use that information to create your cutting list. Basically, a pass-through recipe. Okay, and we'll see that if we go down to the bottom of our quants, all of those lintels have come through into a cutting list. Also our column as well, and we've got some default molding come through, but I'll explain that more at a later video. So there you go. That is our load one plate high quants. And it's given us $35,000 worth of quantities. And that is the end of this video. In a future video, I'm going to take you through the structure of these recipes that we need and how you need to populate them with price book items to get these quants and the cost coming through. See you there.